Good evening. This is actually the 50th anniversary today of the Lausanne Movement, and we are here in Songju, South Korea, and I'm joined with
Alexis Newsom. It is such an honor to be here, and we are just so excited. The timing could not be more incredible. The location could not be more incredible, and we're excited to be here to share this work.
Yeah, and unveil. And my name is Bryn, Brother Bryn Gillette, and I've been working with the Lausanne Movement now for 10 years. So this is my 10th anniversary, and this is the 50th anniversary of the Lausanne Movement. Lexi, I know her as Sister Lexi. Do you want to talk about how the work unfolded, and that we were actually kind of embodying the collaborative spirit that you hear so much about in Lausanne and working together? But why don't you share a little bit of how that unfolded?
Sure. So Bryn, as he said, he has been painting some of the official paintings for Lausanne for the last 10 years. And I was just brought on this year, and we met over a Zoom call and
thought we lived in places on
for
Earth.
some reason thought he lived in Europe, and I'm on the East Coast of the United States. We learned on that call that we only live about an hour or an hour and a half away from each other. So we just very soon after that.
Yeah, probably within a week, you and your mom were over for dinner with my family.
Came over for dinner with the family, with Bryn and his beautiful family, his wife and 4 children. And we met that evening and instantly just had a fantastic camaraderie, a fantastic connection.
Yeah, you recognize siblings when you meet. And we definitely had that experience.
Absolutely. So that was fantastic. We met, and Bryn already had the initial panel for this created. So as we left that evening, we prayed together, and I took the panel home with me to go ahead and begin with the first layers of feelings and colors and the first shapes.
And that's really your superpower. So like I have this like detailed figurative work, but why don't you describe some of what you normally, like where do you normally paint? How do you normally paint?
Normally I paint very large, contemporary, abstract work, and it's full of feeling, emotions, and colors. And so that's sort of why I began and started with the colors and the shapes, and began with the circle, and we just prayed over that, and the Lord guided it.
I think the idea started that night. Like
Yes.
you came over, I had it built, I was going to begin, and it's built to the same scale as the 4 pillars paintings, but those all sat vertically. And I think even then we were talking about the potential symbolism of this being horizontal, because we wanted to paint about time, like 10 years, 50 years, 500 years,
As we celebrate
2,000
these milestones and anniversaries and see the Lord's faithfulness through all of these years.
Yeah, absolutely. And so within that, when I got it back from you, it had this amazing golden kind of like elliptical, and a lot of it was this bass tone. So many of these colors here were untouched. There was a sense of intentional honor and just enjoyment of what you had created, so that I was going to work within the shapes and key, almost like music. Like if you had chosen the key, you'd chosen the chord progression, and now I was going to write a melody inside of that. And that was really kind of the feeling that unfolded. Like what were you feeling or thinking as you did this like shape?
We used the gold for the main ring here, and it was to symbolize the 50 years of the Lausanne Movement. And the ring, it has multiple meanings, but the circle of time, and just how the Lord is weaving all of these stories together through time, and how it is circular and eternal, and
and even a wedding band. And as you can see, kind of it culminates in this We've seen the bride in Pillar 2 and Pillar 4, and we've kind of affectionately referred to this as Pillar 5, even though it's not, but it's kind of a sibling, that here she is again, but now it's in the fullness of time. She's being gathered up into this wedding, the wedding feast.
That is one thing we had discussed on that first night, was the wedding feast. And so that's why we sort of did the browns throughout the middle as well, just it elongating across as though it's a table at the wedding feast.
Oh, yeah.
And with the...
It's been like so many layers, truly, as we go. So when I received it, there were a few months left, and what was so neat was with those browns and golds, as I started to lay in just even the flakes of color, I was immediately thinking about the harvest. And so that's actually the title of the work, is The Harvest. And thinking about, that's been the Lausanne Movement's push, is the harvest. And so I decided, in the way that we've told in the pillar paintings, we've used vignettes from all the different cultures around the world. We've used vignettes of different architecture around the world. And in this one, we used vignettes of all these moments of art history and cultures of art history from around the world. And so I went to my spiritual artistic father that has fed me for so many years, Winslow Homer, and started with a very classic painting by him called Veteran in a New Field. And so he's literally doing this work of harvest. And it struck me how the act of the sickle mirrors this circular, this swinging motion, this arc. And that was one of the very first things that went in. And really, like the white fields of the harvest that the Lord speaks about, that the fields are white and they're ready for harvest. And that's been part of the Lausanne Movement's like desire to see bring the whole gospel to the whole church, bringing the whole gospel to the whole world, and seeing the full harvest. And equipping ourselves, aligning ourselves to make sure that happens. And so just buried within, I mean, I could nerd out right now. I'll save you guys all the detail, but there is the biblical meta-narrative in vignettes from classical artistic pieces, from varied traditions all around the world, from Michelangelo's Adam and Eve to Abraham, to Bernini's David sculpture, to a Coptic crucifix, to Justinian and Theodora in the iconography of the Byzantine Empire, to the Bayeux tapestry. And these are all literally at about 500-year increments, to Martin Luther 500 years ago, to John Stott and Billy Graham. And then what?
The building that we are currently sitting
inside
on the 50th anniversary.
Yeah, we're actually inside the painting right now.
Yeah.
So we painted this in knowing it would culminate here, and tonight we'll celebrate the 50th, and then in just a few days this will be publicly unveiled. So by the time you see this video, that will have already unfolded, and the unveiling will actually happen here. And so we've really been thinking, like, man, how do you paint time? Like, from the meta-narrative idea, from eternity, from Adam and Eve, and even beyond. Like, there's corners that are unpainted, unreached in this and beyond. And there's little people in the heart, like from the earliest time, the gold that makes up the bride, the white harvest that makes up the bride, right from Abraham here sacrificing Isaac and looking up at the stars that the Lord brought him out to say, like, your descendants will outnumber these stars, that they become the bride and really become like, I was thinking of Jesus and the James Webb telescope. Like, if he was crowned, it would be crowned with galaxies, like crowned with universe kind of light. And so I think in some of the imagery, he might appear pure white as described in scripture, but it's actually just reflected light. He's gold in there. He is the gold. He is the wheat. He is the fullness of all harvest. I said I was not going to nerd out, and I just totally nerded out.
We love it.
Yeah. So thank you. It's been an honor. And I think the prayer we would have is that, one, this would invite those who look at it and who have been a part of the Lausanne movement and are a part of the work to see the full harvest brought in, that this would inspire you to realize that whatever part you're playing in your God-given assignment, you're part of this massive, beautiful meta-narrative. You are a part of the bride. and to just spur us forward into that work.
Yes.